All right.
Look
It's
at us, we
happening.
did it.
Oh my gosh. That's so great. Oh, okay. Well, good morning, friends and gamers on the interwebs. I'm Rachael Blaske.
And I'm Julie Ahern.
And this is the episode number 1, the premiere of You're Invited. And in this episode, Julie, VP and COO of Greenbrier Games, and myself, CEO of Poketto, will chat over a good cup of coffee, which is probably going cold now because I'm...
Cheers.
Oh, it's been a morning. But we're going to talk about tabletop industry news.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a weekly topic that we feel is important when you are going to run a board game publishing company. And all the while, we're going to discuss your comments and questions in the live chat because you're invited.
Nice.
I know, right? I know. I'm so fancy.
So fancy. And so coffee-wise, so we're going to be drinking some caffeinated cobalt coffee for the next month, as they are our sponsor for our inaugural month, which is pretty awesome. And I am really excited to talk about my favorite of their offerings, which is the Raise the Dead. It's not for coffee beginners. It is some serious caffeination. It's a very dark, rich flavor, and I'm looking forward to getting it. So I don't have it with me yet, but I'll be wide awake on Friday mornings coming forward.
Yes. I see that Chris is here, and he's talking about the bean holder. And yes, that is what I love. So thank you. Oh man, it's so exciting. Look at all our friends. This is so cool. I see Chris. I see Stephen Bonacore. Oh yeah, the Podfather's here. Yeah. Hey everybody. Martin, Lisbeth. Oh my gosh, Bree. Oh my gosh, it's early for her. You can have your coffee at the same time, Bree. So
nice.
I know that these are all, and Kurt's here too. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, so I did want to give you guys a little tip. Since we're not doing this on YouTube, one of the tips that you have is up in the right-hand corner of the live stream. There is the 3 dots. If you push that and then look at it, it will give you the option to do the live notifications. Every time we go live, it will tell you specifically.
So you'll know every time that we're going to go on and be ridiculous.
Yes, you need to see this. Oh my gosh, last night, Julie and I were prepping for this, and we had all of the memes coming out that we were...
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was also late night.
Yes. We're doing this for you guys. Oh, and Emily's here.
Hi, Emily.
So cool. Oh, and Phil. Oh my gosh. This is like seeing everybody at a con. I'm so happy right now.
Nice.
All right.
So first, our first topic is what's happening this week in the industry. Now, took a little liberty with this because this is our first show, so it's not necessarily just this week what's happened, but things of note that have happened recently. And I was noticing a lot of people switching jobs, getting new jobs, leaving their jobs, which is interesting at this time because right now it seems like it's a little bit scary. Your job security is, for a lot of people, is a little bit shaky. So it's nice to know that there are people getting hired in the industry. So of note, Eric Lang stepped down from Simon or Come On and is doing his own thing. I know that he was a little bit coy about what he's going to be doing, but he said he had plenty of things lined up, and he's been tweeting recently about working on a design with Christopher Chung, who has designed lanterns. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty excited about that and hearing what comes from that. Mm-hmm. Phil Lacefield, who's right there in the picture with Eric Lang. Yep. who was at Golden Distribution, is now at Noble Knight Games. And I reached out to him, and hi, Phil is also in the watching. So that's super early for you. Thanks for getting up. I appreciate it, Phil. And he wanted people to know. So when I had talked to him, he said that his goal at Noble Knight is to offer one of everything offered up in the hobby game industry, new, used, no joke. So if you are in the publishing realm or retailers, or Phil, he works harder than anybody I know in the industry.
One-man band, man.
That your games are getting to retailers. So it's purchasing at nobleknights.com if you want to email him and talk to him about setting up, if you haven't reached out to them and set up an account. And then Emily.
Yes,
Floyd,
my friend Emily.
Yeah, is moving from the corporate manager of Level Up Dice to director of licensing at Roll20. I love Roll20. I love Roll. So I'm so excited to hear about that. And that's fantastic. So congratulations to them. And there are a few others, but
that's right.
Just knowing that there are people getting hired, people who are in our industry and still getting hired in the industry is a good thing, and it was a nice thing to be able to celebrate.
And I don't think Ross is here because it is really early on the West Coast, but he runs an amazing Facebook group that he keeps up to date so well. And oh my gosh, I think I froze over there. Whatever. Okay, so it is super informative. He does a really great job of keeping things up to date, and it's really cool to see where all of the jobs are popping up in the industry. So if you're not a part of this Facebook group, you should be. If that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, so that does it for this week's tabletop news.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what do we have next here, Julie?
What we're going to be talking about, our main topic.
Yes, the morning routine.
There you go. So before we start, we're a little bit cognizant of today being the day that it is. So morning routines seemed like a good topic because September 11th in the morning, many years ago, morning routines were broken up, and a lot of people it wasn't just their morning, it had a huge impact in the United States on September 11th. And so we didn't want to ignore that fact, knowing that we were starting on the day. I remember getting up and, turning on the news, which was part of my morning routine before, while I was getting ready to go to work, and seeing it and thinking that it was, I don't know, didn't seem real at first. It seemed like there was some sort of elaborate hoax, and then realizing that it wasn't. So, it's been a while, and we've gained some distance from it, but I do know that there were a lot of people whose lives were very much affected. We were even talking about it last night. So we wanted to make sure that we acknowledged that it is September 11th, and that mornings aren't always easy. And right now, mornings aren't always easy right where we are. So doing things to get tips to remember to stay on tack, to be positive, even when life is hard, was kind of an important thing for us to start with, which is why we're doing it for our first topic.
That's right. And morning routines. Gosh, we asked a question during this week, and it was, my day cannot start without. And we got some really cool participation on that. If you guys are not following, you're invited, the actual page, or on Instagram, you're invited live. I think that it would be really cool if you could join us. We're trying to engage a community over there. And I am really excited about talking to you guys every week. My morning routine starts the night before because I don't have the brain power in the morning without this liquid right here. So I think that it would be really cool to hear about yours. What do you think, Julie?
My morning routine?
Yes.
When does it start? It starts in the morning. So okay. Ideal me, it starts, I get up and I go get my coffee and I feed the cat who's yelling at me. And then I sit down and I look at what I'm going to do for the day. And realistically, I use, I'm sure a lot of people out there know it, Kanban as a system. So it's originated in Japan, and it's kind of part philosophy that has been turned into an efficiency system type of thing, where you have your list, instead of just having a checklist of things to do and then you check them off, you move one item over to focus on out of your list to your active list. And then when it's done, you move it one column over again to show that it's completed. So it's a visual, this is what I'm working on, this is how I've completed it. And it can get much more complex than that, but that's your basic. I do like a modified of that. At the beginning of the week, I make my weekly, here's all the things I think I can achieve this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to be realistic.
Right.
And sometimes I'm successful.
Nice.
And sometimes I'm a little I overextend.
Mm-hmm.
But I do that at the beginning of the week. So first thing in the morning is okay, what from my big list am I pulling over to these are the things. So I don't do it one at a time, which is what you're supposed to do so that your mind is focused on the one thing. I pull them over and I say, okay, these 5 things are my things for today's Kanban list. So I try to do that first thing in the morning. Insomniac me sometimes does that at, somewhere between 2 and 5 in the morning, and then goes back to bed for an hour or two. And then
that happens too.
So let's be honest.
That's
ideal me versus insomniac me. Either way, it starts in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Okay, so the other part, I just have to say this because when you're doing a live stream, it's live. And so I have a lot of things going on behind the scenes here, and I'm trying to read comments and things like that. But Julie, you talking about 9/11, I sorry that I'm jumping back, but
no, it's okay. I know that that's something that a lot of it's still, like, when I said it was impactful, everybody watching has an attachment to that. Yeah.
And when you're like, okay, what were you doing in that morning? Well, I was getting up for class, and because I was in college, and my roommate, her phone rang really, really early, and I thought that was really strange. And then my phone rang really early, and we just went and turned on the TV, and so we were watching when that hit. So it is this morning. My kids, they're in a very different world than we were.
Yeah.
And so I said, it's Patriot Day. And then unfortunately, my 11-year-old son says, but I hate the Patriots. And I'm like, no. No.
Hey now.
I'm like, okay, I know Tom Brady's gone now, but that is not what today is about. And then we had a really good discussion because I think that it's really important for our kids to know about this. But yes, I sorry that I kind of skipped over that. It's been really exciting getting ready for this whole live stream, but I want to make sure that I did acknowledge that. So when you're talking about your Kanban system, I have gone through a lot of systems. Currently,
and you can use it, kind of like what's talking in the chat. You could have I have a physical whiteboard. We also have a bigger one that we use for our whole company in Atlassian, which I talked about. So you can have, and they've talked about, like, Trello has it built in now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of different online things, and then of course you can just do the Post-it note one where you stick your Post-it notes, which Robert enjoys.
Right, I'm sure.
I like the whiteboard. I like the physicality of still physically writing. Well, I suppose in Post-its, but without the as much of the throwing away paper. So
I'm totally loving these comments though, because I mean we have our audience saying, "My day cannot start without Stephen Bonacore."
I mean, that's a thing you can say.
I mean, Tony, that's right. I agree. I agree.
And I will say, but Stephen Bonacore is a morning person. He is up early and he is going. So that kudos to that, because I am not a morning person. So getting up early to start my day is always, the struggle is real.
It's true. I mean, and Kim saying, this is the second day this week that he started with Bonacore, because he does board game breakfast on Thursday mornings. But I think that it's great. And Phil was one of the ones that was participating earlier this week on our stuff with tea versus coffee. So everybody in the chat, tea or coffee right now? I want to see. Are you a tea or coffee?
First thing in the morning, it's coffee. I like taper off to tea later in the day, but getting older is no joke.
Word.
I have a hard limit on coffee I can drink in the day, which is set by the fact that my eye starts twitching and it won't stop if I have too much. So it gets this little tick, like you have hiccups. My eyeball basically has hiccups once I hit a certain point, and then it doesn't stop for the rest of the day if I go over my coffee limit for the day.
Right.
Ooh. So I switch to tea.
Price is 3 cups of coffee, and I would say that that's pretty much the whole carafe. Somebody was saying that they like to do pour over, and I'm like, how can you only go with a cup of coffee? I mean, even though it's very, very concentrated in that method, I'm sure. Ooh, so true.
A lot of opinions.
I know. And then also we were talking about breakfast or no breakfast, because Mike Patchell was talking about that as well.
I can't function without breakfast in the morning. I'm bad. There are a lot. I can go without food once I hit, I don't know, 6 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock. I could go the rest of the night, but and I think that's a product of conventions almost. I mean, we're not going to them this year, which is sad. But for me, it was eat it like that was my compensation. I would eat a big breakfast first thing in the morning, convention morning, or somebody would force me to eat a big breakfast,
right?
And then I don't eat for the rest of the day, and I'm on my feet and I'm running the booth. So it's just kind of ingrained now. Oh no, that was also teaching. Teaching, you don't.
Oh yeah.
You don't eat. You go into the cafeteria and you maybe inhale something if you remember, but mostly you're just putting out fires at all the little tables or opening ketchup packets.
Right. Of course.
Endless amounts of ketchup packets.
That actually reminds me, we didn't really introduce ourselves very much. I know that most of the people who are hanging out in the comments
did. You
actually.
Us.
Oh no, I did not go into your awesomeness like where I should. I mean, how cool are you?
Okay, go right ahead. What is my awesomeness? I'm excited to hear this.
Dude, I mean, I don't know. I think that it's really cool.
Do I get to tell everybody about your awesomeness then?
No, that's a secret.
What?
No. Well, I suppose. Okay, so things that we know about Julie that are not just work is, I don't know if everybody knows she was a teacher, has a master's in education, is an amazing writer, and what else? I have it. It's so small on my screen. Z-Pocalypse. I was telling somebody about you this morning, and they're like, "Oh, I remember that game."
Well, bless you. Bless every single person who remembers that game. Yes. So I co-designed the whole Z-Pocalypse line. Tales of Barbaria, which is coming out. It was on Kickstarter and it's coming out in March. I was a co-designer on, and I've been working on Mystery, Surviving the Nightmare World. So yeah, no, I design. I
love that you're nomadic. I would love to have that lack of attachment, but I'm like my roots go very, very deep.
It was awesome to be nomadic until about February, and then it really wasn't.
Fair.
So for 18 months, I was traveling from show to show, and there's a couple people in our industry who do that. Eric Price, Japan Games has I don't know 3 conventions a weekend, so he's also very much a traveler.
Right.
but and yes, I loved it. It was great. I enjoy getting to go across the country and see a lot of people and spending a lot of time and but I do not have children. I have nieces and nephews, and getting to come back and visit them in between and bring games, and I'm the cool aunt and all that is great.
Yeah, you are.
Until there's a pandemic, and then it's really not. And then it's very hard. So, here in Indianapolis now, moved here, which is going to be awesome when Gen Con is back up and running. So I'm looking forward to that.
I liked your pictures from Gen Con weekend when you went downtown and walked around and we're all like,
I did. I did.
I love it. So, and then of course, the last little thing I have on there is that you're a tireless advocate, which I don't know how you have as much energy unless it is all in this cup. I don't know, but you are nonstop. So
I try. I think that's important. I think that it is very important that we make sure that anybody who wants to be interested in games feels not just that it's acceptable that they join, but they are wholeheartedly embraced and enthusiastically and with open hearts. So I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that that's what we're thinking about.
Yes,
and that's
this
hard
is the
because
person that is now on the Gamma board helping, because that's where we're
one of several who we're actually in our, so talking about morning routines, setting up this week has been interesting because I have to get a lot of morning work done because in the afternoons we're having our Gamma retreat where we talk about what our goals are for the year. And it's been a great conversation so far. There's a lot to talk about.
Right.
What worked, what didn't work in the past year, which, a lot of people have some very strong opinions about. And what we're going to do to move forward, which has been a great conversation as well. So that happens in the afternoons. So my mornings have been pretty crunch time to try to get my company's work done before we start working on that.
And then I threw this in.
And then there's Rachael. And Rachael, not only being the CEO and the face of Poketto, and publisher of the Mint series, is the mother of 4 of the most hilarious intermittent homeschoolers that have ever existed. Having gone through several meetings where we're talking and then seeing a little head poke around the corner.
Or get home live.
Want to know what's on, and you're like, what Zoom are you supposed to be on? Are you supposed to be in math right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Always.
I finished. Well, your teacher is messaging me saying you just walked away from the screen and you didn't finish. So I'm going to need you to walk back over to your screen and finish. Okay. It's the best. It's the best.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you are a mother of 4 of the most hilarious little humans I have gotten to meet. Obsessive organizer. If you saw the structure of what we did planning for this show, you would know that is true. Over researcher, I can't judge there. I'm also somebody who enjoys the learning process, so I'm not gonna. You're making some judgment tones on that. I'm going to step away from that.
We were talking about so I did a guest on Meeple Marketing with Nolan the other night, and I was telling her that when I came into the industry, because we were talking about networking within, that I did a crash course. Like I was in the car for 8 hours coming back from a family vacation, and I screenshotted the hotness at the time in, I think it was like November of 2018, of publishers, designers, and games at the time, because I knew I was going to lose signal. And then I just memorized. Okay, this publisher does this
smart.
and this. Oh my gosh. So that way when I came to a convention, I could know what to talk about, do all of the, just have really good conversations. And I did. It was really great.
And you knew who people were, as opposed to me being like, oh, are you important?
We're all important.
Right. And then world traveling small town girl from Nebraska.
That's me. I grew up in a town of 308.
Which was about the size of my high school, which was a small high school in Massachusetts.
That's true. And I worked with a bunch of exchange students. And so I got a chance to travel all over the world to learn their cultures. And it's been really fun to be able to see how that all, filters across all the different things, like, falling into being a publisher. So,
nice. And people addict and problem solver.
Yes.
You like, well, and I have appreciated, so you talked about me being on the Gamma board. My secret weapon is you. The only reason I'm getting anything done is because I go, hey, Rachel, I've got this problem that I want to fix. And you go, let me take a poll and ask 5 million people what they think. And they think we should proceed this way. And here's some strategies, and here's 15 links of things that we can do as a jumping point. And by the way, have you thought about, and I'm like, awesome. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. Thanks.
Yes. Now Rachel, stop talking. That's awesome.
In the chat, we have gotten a lot of breakfast routines. So to jump back to the actual topic, which is morning routines.
Yes, thank you.
We're talking about our favorite breakfast foods, and I love crumpets, for the record. There's a whole thing where Martin Poole is teaching the colonists
about
crumpets. Which, okay, so if you like English muffins, you're probably going to like crumpets, but they're so much spongier. So it's bread that's like this airy and spongy, and that all those little holes mean that there's that much more butter and jam you can put in them that will hold, and they're delicious.
That sounds so good.
Yeah,
I'm hungry. Good. Oh, speaking of, I'm not a breakfast. I should be. I am. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this topic, because I'm horrible at mornings.
Well, you're a mother of four, so
in the morning. Yes. So my morning routine is actually a night before routine, where I look at my calendar, I try and figure out how I'm going to survive the next day. And then I go through and I start, everything should be automated in the morning, always. That's just what should happen. And I go through and I start I get the coffee ready, because basically I walk out, I grab my vitamins, because I've told myself I have to take my vitamins before I get coffee. Otherwise, I will forget. And so it's like a permission thing. I'm messing with my own brain.
Do you have the little pill thing with the dates yet?
We did talk about how old we are, right? Like, yes, of course I do.
I don't. And the other night, I was really sad that I didn't have one yet. And I realized I had to go buy one. But I want to go get the ones from like the Dollar General that are huge and have the big giant M through F, so that I don't ever have to not be able to see what's on, because I also now need to wear glasses, but I'm too vain and won't most of the time, except when playing board games, because I got to read the cards. I'm not going to win if I can't read the cards.
Priorities. No, totally. Sad. I totally use all that. Yep. We're old. I accept this. I embrace it. Old. And then I make sure and kind of just get everything ready for the next morning. And in the morning, I just try to get everybody awake, and it's a very loose routine. So really, I'm here to hear what you guys are doing. But so the other thing that we're doing for this is we're trying really hard to keep to 30 minutes. Am I right?
We're trying, but I feel like this first one, it was going to be, we already talked about this, that introducing each other was going to take some time. So, but yes, trying to keep to 30 minutes. So I think we should wrap it up pretty quickly. So morning routines, or it wasn't so much morning routines as it was what we're doing to get up and running and transition from our, especially right now, at home to at the office, which is still in your house.
Yes.
Transition. So for me, it's absolutely looking at my whiteboard and setting up my day for what my goals are. So good or bad, my day starts when I make that list, and my day ends when that list is completed.
Sorry, I again, squirrel. I'm loving these comments.
A lot of breakfast talk.
Yes.
And for you, your morning starts when?
Well, for me, my morning starts when I can get down to my office and actually connect like specifically to what I'm supposed to be doing.
So
that would be work, but
yeah.
I would say I have a weird flow where I do a lot of work on my phone because I have to be upstairs with the kids. They won't stay on Zoom school. They won't. And so like this morning I was trying to get ready for this and my son came to the door of the bathroom and knocks and he's like, I just don't want to do it today. So can I just, I need you.
Feels for that. Oh my goodness.
I mean,
deeply understand that.
My daughter, she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, getting ready. I got a thing today, hun. Like,
so your morning starts basically when you have a minute to transition from mom to.
Yes. And it starts with my phone. I usually will check social media and, you know, see what everybody's been up to. And because I try really hard to be involved in the community. And the main way to do that right now is social media. So if you can do that in a mentally healthy kind of way, that's what I would, that's where I go.
That's the trick. Mentally healthy way, not the doom scrolling that can happen.
Nope.
So let's finish this up with, what is your top tip for morning routines?
With as loose as my routine is right now, the top one that I would recommend is making sure you glance at your calendar. It will at least set you up for success in that you know what your expectations are the next day and things like that. That's the important thing for me.
Mine was, whatever you decide your morning routine is going to be, give it 2 weeks. You need at least 2 weeks to cement a routine into being a routine, at least, whether it's good or bad, because it's going to be bad the first couple days if it's a new routine. You have to give it 2 weeks before you realize, well, this is working really, or this isn't working really. Right. So that's my top tip, is whatever your morning routine is, you're going to have to figure out what works for you, but give it 2 weeks to make sure that you know that it does work or does not before you make tweaks.
Absolutely. And we have a top tip from Phil. So here we go. More tea.
Never. That's an afternoon event for me. Sorry. It's not happening, Phil.
And Kurt, email emergencies. That's right. One of the things that we are going to talk about later is the scheduling and how you can block in focus time and things like that. So I like that he's like, calendar, email emergencies, and then focus on a project. And then you can come up for air later. Because I know that I have, once this cup.
Okay, I'm going to stop though, because that is next week's topic. So
no, I know. I'm just saying, once this is empty, then I can do the things. That's why I have the other stuff first in my morning routine.
There you go.
Are you? You're trying to keep me on track, and I
am trying to keep you on track.
That's why you're.
It's been a half an hour. People have things to do. Their morning routine should be watch us and then do their stuff, not watch us and then eventually be like, "What's going on?" and run away. So, we are at our shout outs.
Ooh, my shout out is definitely Shelf-a-pa-Luza. Anna Maria was in here earlier. She is doing something with Loozapalooza, and she runs Girls Game Shelf. They are doing an online con this weekend, and I even have 3 events that I am planning on participating in. I can't wait to paint. They're going to do a paint along kind of thing that was really cool. And I think Twitch sings, because we're really... Chris is here. He's
karaoke.
Karaoke is amazing, especially because you're around people again. And then I think that the other one is that they're going to do something called Bits and Bobs, and it will have a little sneak peek of what we've got coming up next because we gave them a video.
What?
It's a secret.
What? For me, Shelf-a-pa-Luza, totally awesome. They've been really fantastic about how they have been vocal about it and sharing things. And in general, I think they're hilarious. Their Twitch stream plays on our Twitch stream when we're not on, which is quite a bit more than theirs. So I actually get to watch it quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the games that are being played, specifically In Too Deep, which is getting a Kickstarter launch the 15th, right? So in a couple days.
Yeah.
So good luck, Helena.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see the game being played this weekend.
Yes. And before we run off, I want to hear about what's going on with you at Greenbrier.
Oh, for us, we're getting ready for the Lost Ones Kickstarter, which will be a month from now. So we're Lost Ones is kicked into high gear now that Tales of Barbaria is pledge manager, and that's getting manufactured. So we're moving on to Lost Ones, and that is going to consume me from now until.
That's right.
I don't know, November-ish. So.
Yeah, it's true. Well,
what about you?
We have a couple cool things. Mint Cooperative that kickstarted last year is now on the water, and it should be here soon. I'm really excited. We have some really cool little meeples that were in that, and I'm pretty much in love with them, and I can't wait to hold them in my hands.
That's awesome. Well, that being said, I am excited. Folklore is getting shipped this week in the United States, 3 months early on the Kickstarter fulfillment, which made me, makes my heart happy. So we are 3 months early on our Kickstarter deadline, even with COVID.
Oh,
I'm
jealous.
I'm pretty psyched about it. It's not that it's been easy, but it was definitely something that it was a goal.
Right.
And I'm glad that it's working out. And I'm starting to see, like in Australia, they've gotten there. So I'm starting to see pictures of it. So I'm getting excited because my copy is also coming in the mail this week.
And we have our partner, our digital partner, Unbox Games. They are getting set to fulfill Mintworks Digital. And I have a bunch of cool Steam keys for any media that want to play with me. And so that's going to be so exciting. It's really fun. And I'm just excited to have another way to game with people long distance. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Let's see. We've got.
So I think this is it. I think we're wrapping up. So next week.
Yeah.
Next Friday, we will be back with organizing tips for busy entrepreneurs. So once your morning is started, what next?
Oh man.
And I actually I'm pretty excited about that one because we do a lot of research on what tools we want to use. And we have tested a lot of them over the years and for project management. So I'm pretty excited about that one. I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have to wait until next week. So you're going to have to wait too.
I know. I'm not saying anything. I'm being a good girl. But I do want to say that if you like this, please share it. I will have this on Facebook's our Facebook page. You're invited. And I think we're going to upload it to YouTube on Julie's channel for a bit until we get ours set up because didn't get that far. But hey, Greenbrier Games is awesome and you should check it out anyway. So we're going to go ahead and again, add us on Instagram. You can find us in all of these other places. And I'll show it to you on the outro. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for stopping by.
So much fun.
It was like a Friday morning group hug. It made me happy.
Oh, that was so amazing. And I just love that there's like almost 40 people that hung out with us this morning.
So enjoy the rest of your Friday.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.